Scott LaRock was a DJ and producer from the South Bronx, New York. He became famous as a member of the hip-hop group Boogie Down Productions. The group also included KRS-One, a powerful MC. LaRock was known for his innovative samples. He created a new sound for hip-hop. His music was gritty and hard-hitting. It reflected the realities of life in the Bronx. Boogie Down Productions released their debut album, Criminal Minded, in 1987. The album was a critical and commercial success. It is considered a classic of hip-hop's golden age. LaRock's production was a major part of the album's success. He created a unique sound that was both danceable and thought-provoking. LaRock's music inspired a generation of hip-hop producers. LaRock was also a mentor to KRS-One. He helped KRS-One develop his skills as a rapper and songwriter. The two men had a close relationship. They shared a vision for Boogie Down Productions. They wanted to use their music to speak out against injustice. They also wanted to promote peace and unity in the black community. LaRock's career was cut short when he was shot and killed in 1987. He was only 25 years old. His death was a huge loss to the hip-hop community. It is a reminder of the violence that plagued the South Bronx 1980s. Despite his short career, LaRock and enduring. He is considered pioneers of hip-hop production. On August 27, 1987, Scott LaRock was working with Boogie Down Productions. They were in their studio in the South Bronx. The group was working on their second album. Tensions were high in the neighborhood. There was a lot of gang violence. Later that night, LaRock drove to a nearby apartment complex. He went there to help mediate a dispute. The dispute was between teenager Kenneth Parker, who was affiliated with the group, and an unknown individual. LaRock hoped to use his influence to de-escalate the situation. He believed in the power of dialogue. As LaRock tried to make peace, tragedy struck. An unknown assailant fired a gun. LaRock was shot in the head and neck. The shooting happened in the midst of the escalating argument. The other people present at the scene immediately called for help. An ambulance rushed LaRock to the hospital. The doctors tried to save his life. Their efforts were in vain. The bullet wounds were too severe. LaRock died in the hospital. His death sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community. The police investigated the shooting of Scott LaRock. They were determined to find the person responsible. Witnesses were interviewed. Evidence was collected. The police followed every lead. Despite their efforts, the police never identified LaRock's killer. The case went cold. The lack of closure left a void in the hip-hop community. Many people were angry and frustrated. KRS-One was devastated by LaRock's death. They were more than musical collaborators. They were close friends. LaRock's death had a profound impact on KRS-One's life and career. He was determined to honor LaRock's memory. KRS-One decided to continue making music after Scott LaRock's death. He knew that is what LaRock would have wanted. KRS-One renamed Boogie Down Productions as KRS-One. He released a string of successful albums in the late 1980s and early 1990s. These albums addressed social and political issues. They cemented KRS-One's status as a conscious hip-hop legend. In 1989, KRS-One founded the Stop the Violence movement. He was driven by the tragic loss of his friend. The movement aimed to address violence in the hip-hop community. It promoted peace and conflict resolution. The movement brought together rappers, DJs, and activists. Scott LaRock's death was a tragedy. It robbed the world of a talented artist. His death also inspired something positive. It led to the creation of the Stop the Violence movement. This movement had a lasting impact. It helped to raise awareness about violence in the hip-hop community. It also promoted peace and nonviolence. Scott LaRock's legacy lives on. His music continues to inspire people around the world. He is remembered as a pioneer of hip-hop production. He is also remembered